There are only 12 days left in Donald Trump's presidency. While it does not look like there's enough support to remove him from office early, Democrats and some Republicans may try a different tactic to hold him accountable. Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us on this Friday. I'm Ben Bradley.
And I'm Lourdes Duarte. Momentum is growing among Democrats on Capitol Hill to push forward with articles of impeachment against President Trump.
WGN's Gaynor Hall joins us now with the latest.
Yeah, Ben and Lourdes, in a letter to House Democrats, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi said they would move to impeach President Trump again if he does not resign immediately. But some critics say pursuing impeachment at this point is a waste of time. Nearly a year after the Senate acquitted President Trump on impeachment charges, in the waning days of his time in office, he could be impeached again. After the deadly insurrection at the Capitol, the vice president and the cabinet have not answered calls to invoke the 25th Amendment. Illinois Senator Dick Durbin says the president should be.
I don't believe that President Trump should serve another day. When a president incites a mob to violence, as far as I'm concerned, he disqualifies himself from leading this nation.
Missouri Republican Senator Roy Blunt says the talk of impeachment is ridiculous.
The Speaker knows this is not going to happen. Senator Schumer knows this isn't going to happen. You don't have the time for it to happen, even if there was a reason. So there's no reason to debate this except just pure politics.
Even if the House is successful in bringing impeachment to the Senate will decline to hear the trial.
However, Northwestern law professor Dan Rodriguez says this raises a big question never decided under the Constitution.
Whether impeachment can continue after the president leaves office. And there is an open question, and indeed some constitutional scholars who suggest that the president can be impeached after he or she leaves office. The consequences of which obviously are not removal from office since the term is done, but such matters as eligibility to run for president again.
President-elect Joe Biden was asked today about impeachment. He said that's for Congress to decide. And President Trump tweeted today he will not attend the inauguration.
One of the few things he and I have ever agreed on. It's a good thing.
Pelosi says she spoke to the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff about preventing President Trump from ordering a nuclear strike in his final days in office. House Democrats could introduce articles of impeachment as soon as Monday. And another new development today, Republican Senator Lisa Murkowski of Alaska now saying that President Trump should resign immediately.
Okay, busy 12 days ahead. Thank you, Gaynor.